The Mandalorian Season 2 trailer is cool, but like, where's Ahsoka? Let's break it down. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Smash that like button and let's get right into this breakdown. We're going to be going over some of the craziest things from the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, but of course, the biggest question on everybody's mind, the biggest thing everybody wants broken down is something that's not in the trailer, something that we thought was going to be in the trailer, something that was reported to be all over the trailer, and that would be Ahsoka Tano.
It was foretold that you would be here.
But first, let's go through some of the cool things that are in the trailer. Okay, so we start out with this shot of a planet, and then we've got the Razor Crest, and man, this ship is messed up. I mean, it looks like it's barely going to make it to this planet, whatever this planet is. Yeah, not a good look, but a cool way to open the trailer. We next see the Mandalorian walking on some kind of planet that seems to have big cities with a lot of different lights. Now, my current guess is that this is actually Corellia or a planet similar to Corellia, but this is a bad part of town. Like, you can see all this graffiti in here, and there's another shot with this graffiti later on, possibly even with this same light post here, where the Mandalorian ties someone up by their feet. We've got a shot of a Tusken Raider on a Bantha. This looks to be Tatooine. Looks like the Mandalorian is back on Tatooine. And next up, we've got this shot of this ice planet here. Now, some people are saying this is Ilum. It could be Hoth. It could be the place we last saw Ahsoka at the end of the Clone Wars Season 7, where she buries all the clones. But either way, some kind of an icy planet here, which does actually come up several different points throughout this trailer. And here we've got Baby Yoda in the snow, seemingly on the same ice planet. Now, this shot right here, the ship that is behind the Mandalorian, I think this is a Rebel gunship, which is something we saw heavily in the prequels and in the Clone Wars animated show. But the gun at the front and just the way that the model looks here, I think it's clearly smushed and crashed, but I think it could be one of the Rebel gunships, and the orange paint makes me think it could even be a Rebel gunship that belonged to Ahsoka or to some legion that was loyal to Ahsoka or something like that. This looks to be a dock on some kind of a water planet here. You've got some aliens in the front here, but a lot of Quarrens. So there's a ton of Quarrens here. It's possible that this could be on Mon Calamar. I don't know if the Quarrens live on the surface and the Calamari live underneath the water on that planet, or maybe it's just the Quarrens planet. But either way, this is some kind of a dock here, and it looks like the Mandalorian and the child are going to be taking some kind of a boat to some location. We don't know why, of course, but they must need to take this water route to get there. And we can also see that the Mandalorian has his sweet-ass jetpack. Now, the shots of this character right here at first really tricked me out. I thought this was going to be Rosario Dawson, and there was so much hype about Ahsoka being in the show that for a long time I was like, is that Ahsoka? Why doesn't she have the markings on her face? Why doesn't she have the Leku behind her? Like, could that actually be Ahsoka? But then all of my chat during the live stream this morning told me, no, that's Sasha Banks, and this is likely Sabine Wren watching Din Djarin and the child, and she disappears all sneaky like. Here's the boat that they are taking from that same dock. Now, this is a really interesting shot. This is the Razor Crest with two X-Wings flying beside the Razor Crest, but I'm also really interested in this yellow paint that is on top of the Razor Crest here. Is this some kind of signaling? Could this be a new repair part later on in the story? Is it possible those are markings of the actual rebellion and that the Mandalorian has joined with the rebellion? And then we get shots of those X-Wings following the Razor Crest. It's possible they are working with him. It's possible they are chasing him, but there's no gunfire. It really looks like they're all on the same team there. We next get this shot of him riding the speeder through the desert. Likely this is on Tatooine again. We see Greef Karga and Cara Dune on the planet where the guild is at. I think Greef Karga has been elevated to some kind of senator type of, maybe some kind of mayoral or public official position. So it seems like he'll be elevated to that position on that planet that all of the bounty hunter guild people lived on. We see this shot of multiple TIE fighters with the folding wings taking off. Really interesting. And then this shot's really interesting. Looks to be inside some kind of an Imperial vessel. I think it's a Star Destroyer. And oh baby, if Moff Gideon has a Star Destroyer, that is super hype. And I'm very pumped to see it. Now, this shot's actually really important because you see it's not just that we see these speeders going off of this ledge, but when you pause the frame here, you can see that several of the stormtroopers are lying on the ground, seemingly dead. So there was some kind of a battle or combat done here. Maybe this is some kind of an Imperial base. It's kind of reminding me of some things we saw in Jedi Fallen Order. But either way, what appears to have happened here is that some people took out a bunch of these stormtroopers and they're on the run and now being chased by these speeder troopers. Mandalorian here, seemingly on that same planet where we just saw that crazy, battle with all of the people lying on the ground and the speeders. Seems like it's the same planet, and he's using the jetpack here. Here's that shot I was talking to you about earlier with all the graffiti, maybe on Corellia, and it looks like he's knocking out the light here, and he tied somebody up. Who is this somebody? It's hard to tell. Here's another shot of this ice planet. This seems to be very significant. Again, if it's Ilum and there's Kyber crystals being called or calling to the child, that could be really cool. Really, we have no idea, though. Now, this shot's really interesting. A lot of people were trying to say that this was Slave One, Boba Fett's ship burning. It is definitely not. If anything, this actually is the Razor Crest. The flames are just really obscuring it. But really, I've slowed this down a lot. That is definitely not Slave One. Now, this shot's really cool. We got some Gamorreans here fighting in a ring of some kind with weapons. Seems really, really cool. And then there's a character that I think is voiced by Jon Favreau that, betrays him at this scene. This guy. Everybody called this guy Mike Wazowski, which I thought was really hilarious. But yeah, he's having a convo with Mando. And then he betrays him here. Now, this sequence is really cool. You see him activate the whistling birds. Baby Yoda's like, I'm out. And then we hear a fight happen in the dark. Really cool effect there. And then it ends with the vibroblade being thrown into a Zabrak from the Mandalorian. Okay, so this is either a Zabrak or Dathomori male, which I think are the same thing, maybe. And then we get the title, streaming on October 30th. That's pretty much it. Okay, so that's the breakdown. If there's something we missed, please let me know in the comment section. I will check back to the comments of this video. But now let's talk about the missing piece of this puzzle. Where the hell is Ahsoka in this trailer? She was so hyped up. Everybody's been talking about Ahsoka. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was a little disappointed in this trailer. I'm super hyped for The Mandalorian, but this trailer seemed like it was just a lot of like open spaces. There's a lot of different scenes that are just kind of cut up throughout the trailer. So even though we see a lot and it is like a 2-minute trailer, there's like not a lot of context. We don't see a lot of characters other than the Mandalorian, the child. We see that maybe that's Sabine Wren, but really seems like they're holding a lot close to the chest. And another interesting element to this is this whole story that Grace Randolph initially broke about the massive problems that happened behind the scenes for The Mandalorian Season 2. She actually just came out today and explained what happened. I'm going to do a whole separate video on this because it's really crazy, but just to let you know, apparently, according to Grace, Mr. Pedro Pascal had major problems wearing the helmet all the time and was uncomfortable in the Mandalorian suit, and he was fighting with the creatives for The Mandalorian to try to get the helmet off more, to get his face seen more, and just in general to be more known and have a bigger presence on the show. And apparently the creative shut him down hard on this, to the point to which Pedro went behind their back to the upper people at Lucasfilm, like Kathy Kennedy, and tried to create drama to have Kathy come in, supersede, and get Pedro's face seen more on the show. Apparently, this caused things to really balloon up, and it got so bad that the studio told Pedro, why don't you just leave? And then Pedro left. Like, before filming was finished, Pedro Pascal left the set of The Mandalorian, and he didn't come back. And so apparently that is potentially why this trailer was changed, why they're scrambling behind the scenes to cut the second half of the season to show as little as they can of Din Djarin. And I think, frankly, and I'll get more into this in the solo video, that Favreau's bet and Filoni's bet might be, hey, let's put all of these crazy new characters in there, and if people really respond to them, either Bo-Katan, Sabine Wren, or even Boba Fett could literally take over the show, and they wouldn't even have to change the name. They're all technically Mandalorians from a certain point of view, right? So maybe that happens, and maybe what they're trying to do with the back half of the season is to show Pedro that, like, they don't really need him. He doesn't actually have the bargaining chips that he thinks he does. And it's possible that all of those changes gave us a really watered down trailer. But what I don't understand is the lack of Ahsoka. Why aren't you showing us Ahsoka? Like, this trailer should have had Ahsoka front and center. The way it was described to me was that this trailer was going to blow people's minds from beginning to end. It was just going to be this one big ride of crazy things that we were maybe going to see some of these characters that we have heard are going to be in the show, including Ahsoka, and more than Ahsoka, right? So I don't understand why we just got the trailer that we got. I don't understand why it randomly drops on a Tuesday morning, even though a lot of sources reached out to me and said that that was happening. I still don't get it. I'm confused about Lucasfilm's tactics. I'm hoping everything can get under control. I honestly hope they just work it out with Pedro because I like him in the role, even though he was barely on set in season 1. I like him in the role. I like the voice. I like his face. Like, I hope they can work it out. But if they can't, I'm on Team Mando. I'm on Team Jon Favreau. I'm on Team Baby Yoda. Bye, Pedro. Like, I don't think we really need you, bro. So that's what's going on. I know a lot of people are disappointed in this trailer. I know a lot of people are hyped about the trailer. There's a lot of things going on with this. So I want to know, what do you think about the breakdown? What do you think about the lack of Ahsoka? And what do you think about this crazy story about Pedro Pascal? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And now let's shout out Yorick Wees. Yes, indeed. The original writer for The Force Awakens was going to be Michael Arndt. And now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know what upcoming Marvel movie is utilizing the volume technology used in The Mandalorian for their big MCU movie. If you like this video, make sure you slap a like on it. And if you are enjoying the content over here, you will absolutely love the live streams we do straight from Nerdvengers Tower starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.